I'm live. Great to see you again. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. We are back in my kitchen doing the thing I love to do most, which is make stuff in my fridge before it goes bad. So I have so many figs. They are in my backyard. I've got a whole tree full of them. Can you see my wonderful figs? Do you see that? Oh my gosh, I have so many bowls of figs. And what am I gonna do with them? I don't wanna can them all because I don't want it to be just lots of sugar all the time. And that's kind of what I feel like canning and jam does. So I wanted to make some breakfast bars, bars on the run, treats on the run that didn't have too much sugar because my figs are so sweet in and of themselves. And I'm just gonna cut open a fig here for you. So beautiful. Look at that fig. So beautiful. So I'm so grateful to have figs right in my backyard. So I decided that I was going to make some kind of fig bar, but I just didn't know what. And then I looked in my fridge and I was like, I got that, I got that, I got that. Fine. I'm going to put together a fig bar recipe. So that doesn't have the calories and gross trans fats and stuff that might be in a fig Newton. Don't know if a fig Newton has trans fats, but there's a good chance. Anyway, so this is gonna be a lot healthier than something like that. So in my handy dandy Cuisinart, which by the way, I went on Amazon and I got a refurbished Cuisinart and it was like 60 bucks. So if you're looking at a Cuisinart and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, hundreds of dollars, I can't do it, then don't do it and just get a refurbished one. That's what I did. All right, so I have 2 cups of sliced figs already in my Cuisinart, because you remember last week I broke my blender and it started smoking, so let's not do that again. Anyways, for this recipe I want 2.5 cups, so I'm gonna just dice up my figs here. Ooh, yummy, 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 and put them in just about, I think I've got just about ½ cup here. I don't measure officially. You kind of know how it goes. I work with what I've got in my fridge and then I kind of create from there. But yeah, we're gonna go with this. This is kind of a ½ cup and away we go. Okay, so I'm throwing that in. And then I had pecans and I like pecans and I don't always have pecans at home. So when I have them, I just try to work them into everything that I can. Again, I live near Costco, so it's easy for me to get like big bags of nuts and work them into all my cooking. So if you live near Costco, nuts is one of the things I love there. There's lots of things I don't love at Costco, but sometimes you can get things like kombucha and it's great. So same is true for nuts, and here I've got a cup full of pecans going right in. And that's what I'm gonna do about that. So let me get my blender going and let's hopefully we won't start a fire like last week. Here we go. All right, coming together, coming together. I'm just getting this to be kind of pulp-like. I'm not going to speak over the blender. I'm just getting this to be kind of pulp-like, and it's, honestly, I could just eat this. I'm not kidding. Nuts and fruit together, one of my very favorite things, and that's the original. Oh my gosh, I only have 10% left on my phone. I'm gonna have to figure out something to do very fast. Very, very fast. Uh-oh, 10% left on my phone. Now what do I do? I'm going to work around this. Stay with me, people. Sorry about that. Okay, moving everything over. So, small disruption, don't worry. So, I could really just eat figs and pecans together. Doesn't that sound good? And ultimately, that's what the original, you know, sports bar is. It's just fruit, dried fruit usually, and this isn't dried fruit, but dried fruit usually, and nuts. So we've got the basis for a good treat, we know that. With, so far, not lots of sugar, which is the way I like to do things. Of course, depends on what the baking recipe is, but if I can keep my sugar down, I like to. Okay, goes right in the sink, and it's colorful. I just love the colors of figs. So this is a very colorful recipe. I'm gonna hold it up for you here in just a second. Ooh. Oh, it's got this, it might be hard for you to see, it's got this slightly purple pinkish tone, which I love. Just awfully yummy. Okay, then I just start start throwing things in. So like I said, this is what I had in my fridge. You could probably make lots of different substitutions. I'm gonna do about 3/4 of a cup of raw oats. I love raw oats, love raw oats. You know, I wanted something that didn't have a lot of flour and this kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm not using eggs. No way. Certainly not using eggs in my stuff. But I am going to use just a tad bit of vegan butter. I'll get to that in a moment. All right, so I'm spooning this in, looking all very good. Just about 3/4 cup of, whoops, yeah, just about 3/4 cup of oats. Tad bit more here. Then I do a 1/2 cup of raisins because, again, if I can get that natural sugar, I like it. Now, I know that there's somebody out there who's going to be saying, oh, but raisins have lots of sugar and, you know, processed sugar versus raisins, it's all the same thing. Whenever I can, I don't use processed sugar. Whenever I can. So that's what I like to do, and, you know, you can call me out on it, but I'd rather have raisins than processed sugar. So I'm just spooning those in. Now again, I looked in my fridge and this is what I had, but you know, I'm sure bananas would go great in this recipe if you're a banana fan. So something that I always have in my fridge or my cupboard is unsweetened coconut flakes. I always have it. Again, I live near Costco. Some things are really very easy and great there. So I'm just gonna do a 1/2 cup of my coconut. Ooh, it's getting kind of juicy. I mean juicy as in things are coming together, not that it's watery. Okay, so I am spooning in my coconut, which is so great, giving it more color. Maybe I should give you a little sneak peek of what this looks like now that I'm spooning in my coconut. It's really coming together like a bar. Whoa! I'm just losing things left and right here. Holy cow. Okay, so let me show you what I've got. Again, you can cook this, which I will, or you can just eat it plain. Okay, so it's coming together. It looks very snack-like, doesn't it? All right, people. Now something I do is I wanted it to stick together, but I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to do a lot of flour. So I do 2 tablespoons of almond butter. Ooh, that's kind of big. Hold on. Hold on, people. That's 1. Stick into my spoon. All right, that's 1 tablespoon. And now I have another tablespoon. Hold on. So what I like to do is, you know, if you go into the natural butters, you can have a lot of oil. You can probably see that kind of dripping with oil. I try to not add that oil to my recipe. Again, if I can kind of cut down on the calories where I can, I like to. This is a very big tablespoon, but it's, whoops. Like I said, things are just falling everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna work this in. This will take a little bit of working, but like I said, this is a recipe I came up with just because I had so many figs around and I don't want to see them go bad, and I just don't want to can everything with lots and lots of sugar all over the place. So, although I am gonna add my favorite sweetener here in a minute, you guys probably know what that is, maple syrup. I always feel like maple syrup gives everything a deep flavor. I really feel for me that maple syrup has sort of a wood flavor to it that I love. So tree flavor maybe is more of what I'm saying. So I always like to have maple syrup, so let's not delay. I'm gonna add just about 2 tablespoons. Now if you like things really sweet, go ahead and add 3. It's a little chaotic today. Go ahead and add 3 because ultimately cooking is all about your taste and the taste of your family and what they like. So I'm gonna add 2 because I don't want it too super sweet, because I know that I'm gonna eat this in the morning, and when I start my day with a lot of sugar, I crave sugar all day long, and I try not to put myself in that spot. Okay, whoa, overflowing. So 2 tablespoons, 2 heaping tablespoons of maple syrup. Got like 7 spoons going on here. Very fun. Now, of course, you know what happens when you add sugar. You must add salt. Are you kidding? You have to. So I'm going to very quickly add some salt here. And I usually do about 2 tablespoons of vegan butter, But I might not do that. See, this is why it's so great to, the more you cook, the more you have a sense for the food, and so you can make decisions on the fly. I might not do that this time because there is a little bit more of the oil from the almond butter that got in here than I would have liked, so I don't think I'm going to need that as much. Let me just see as I put in my salt, and I wanted big pinches of salt. That's why I didn't use my shaker this time. I wanted big pinches of salt because that's gonna help to really make this tasty. Now, very shortly here, I'm just gonna plop this in the oven, and I'm gonna bake it for about 25 minutes, and then I'll take it out of the oven and I'll cool it. And when I do that, it forms, and I have handy dandy bars, which are very, very tasty. So let me show you our finished product here. All right. Okay, so these are gonna be very thick bars, so I'm gonna cook it probably about 30, 35 minutes, 25 to 35 minutes. I'm gonna test it in the middle to see, and then I'll pull it out and I'll let it cool, and that'll kind of let it harden. Now, who among us grew up eating cookie dough? I did. Which means I can't really let a recipe like this go without just kind of eating it raw, because it feels like cookie dough. So when in doubt, if you're somebody who likes raw food, oh, that's so super good. If you're somebody who likes raw food, you can just do this, roll it up in little balls, and serve it to people like rum drops. You know those rum balls? You can do the same thing here. Just roll them out. You don't even have to cook it. I'm gonna go ahead and cook this, but you don't even have to. But before I cook it, I'm gonna have another bite because I like that childhood memory of cookie dough. The figs and raisins together, so very good. Okay, like I said, this is coming out a little more moist than my last time I made this. I have so many figs. I've been making this recipe all week. So I'm not gonna go ahead with the 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. What I am gonna do is I'm going to put this in the oven, which looks like this. Okay, I put it in the oven. Now when it comes out of the oven, okay, so this is what they look like when they're cooked. And I really like the taste just like this. But if you wanted more of a cake for yourself, what I have done is I've taken tofutti sour cream. So that is a vegan sour cream. And I haven't taken too much because I don't really need the frosting, believe it or not, on this, because I think it's great the way it is, and I don't like to start out my day with too much frosting. But I've taken just kind of a tablespoon and a half of tofutti, and I'm going to add, we talked about sugar, oh my gosh, I'm gonna add some brown sugar, and I'm gonna make a very down and dirty frosting. So easy, because I'm really not making the frosting, I'm just sweetening the tofutti sour cream. And I'm going to mix that. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to mix that. Let's see if it's sweet enough. Let's add more sugar. Yeah, like I said, I try not to do this too often because it'll just make me crave sugar all day. But if you don't have that problem, and if you can eat sugar like 1 cookie and stop yourself, which I cannot do, then go ahead and add frosting to your recipe. Okay, so we've got our frosting now, our easy version of frosting, and I'm just going to put it on one of my bars. Here are my handy dandy 2 bars, you see. Just going to layer it on one, and so you could serve this up kind of as a cake if you wanted to, with a sour cream frosting. All right. Ooh, yummy, yummy. Okay, finished product. Now remember, the non-cooked version was also super good. hearty breakfast cupcake. Kind of. Now remember, you don't have to have the frosting on it, so I'm going to take a bite of this one too. I've got to get on the treadmill, okay? That's all I have to say about this show. That's my next move. Or run by the beach. That's my next move. I highly recommend this. So, one of the things I don't like is when I go to the store and I buy a bar or something because I know I'm going to go hiking. And then I feel that I've eaten all this processed food, when the whole reason I chose a bar is because I was trying to do something healthy. So I've kind of taken to the thought process that I just need to make my own bars. And I've got nuts and I've got fruit, and I can combine those to make some really tasty things. We didn't do it here, but obviously peanuts and bananas together are a great combination, and you can turn that into a bar. I'll do that at another time. This recipe is a fig bar. In my fig bar, I had pecans and coconut and almond butter and raw oats, which I always love, and a little pinch of salt, and it comes together super easy. You see how fast I made that? Pop it in the oven, 30 minutes, go do your thing. You come back and you have a great breakfast bar or a hiking bar. And if you want to turn it into cake, you can, or cupcake, sort of a super treat. This is what I have done, and I will probably be back next week with more fig stuff because I have so many figs in my backyard. So beautiful. You see these figs? Just so beautiful. Nature really has a way of treating you, which is what I love about cooking with great fresh ingredients. Okay, that's been Wednesday. This is going to be up on my website, ElysabethAlfano.com, sometime tomorrow, Thursday, and you can get the complete recipe with all the add-ons that you maybe want or you maybe don't want. It's up to you. I will include that 2 tablespoons of vegan butter if you feel like it's necessary. And enjoy, folks. This is super tasty. As always, don't forget to be vegan.